How you guys doing today? It's autotips.ca. We're gonna be bringing for you today an issue with an oxygen sensor, or a fuel sensor they call it, fuel ratio sensor. So what the oxygen sensor does is it measures the oxygen in the exhaust, and then it compensates for the fuel accordingly, because you need a fuel ratio all the time, 14.7 to 1, which is 14.7 gallons of air versus 1 gallon of gas. So the oxygen sensor monitors that. The car we're working on is a 2008 Acura MDX that has a P0153. We're gonna look at the banks actually, bank number 1 and bank number 2. So we're gonna explain what those are in a minute, but first let's show you how we came up to that conclusion. So when you see here, we got the check engine light over here. You can get the check engine light, you can get the 4-wheel drive, everything will light up, and then it will show like emission system. Really what it is it's emission sensor. With the oxygen sensor code, whenever you have something like that, usually you don't feel on the drivability that much, but your gas mileage will go really, really low. So the thing that we're dealing with is P0, let me just put it here. So that's what we're dealing with. So bank 2 sensor 1, it's a slow respond. So what it's saying is it's not acting as fast as possible, you know, because it has to switch, so that way the computer compensate for the air fuel mixer. So this is called an air fuel mixture sensor, and this car has 4 sensors. So you got bank 1 sensor 1 and bank 2 sensor 1, and then you got bank 2 sensor 2 and bank 1 sensor 2. So you have 4 sensors on this car, but now we're dealing with the front sensor. So the way you can approach this is, I have a little display here that I put, so that way you know when you Google it. So when you go to firing order, so if you want to know which is which, you could just go here, 2008 MDX, and you can look at the firing order. So every car is different. So you have the firing order. So in this case, what we're dealing with is the front sensor. It's a little bit hard to get to, but so this is the wire. So it's working, but it's not responding fast. So this is the sensor here. So in order to get to it, I have to take the cover. So we move these aside. Now you come over here, this is the sensor. So sometimes it could be a little bit tough. I would like to take this coil just to give you guys, this is the ignition coil. I'll take that so it can give us a little bit of space to work in there. For that I need a 10 mil socket. So we put this here. You gotta work slowly on this. You don't want to lose the socket, because the sensor is right there. So I'm just gonna create a little space. So this is the coil. So now we have more space to put a socket. So to do this job, you need oxygen sensor sockets. So it's 7/8. There's a bunch of them here. They all can fit depending what angle you're in. So this would do it, because this is straight up. So you put it here because you don't want to damage the wires. Then we're gonna put this socket here, maybe a little bit shorter extension. If you have the right stuff, you shouldn't be too hard. So you just go bang, it's out. So now you're gonna have a good gas mileage. With this code being on, you might not notice anything, but definitely your gas mileage is gonna go bad. So this is the sensor. I have a brand new sensor here that I'm gonna be putting. It costs about $150 Canadian. It's good always to make sure you check the right sensor, because like I said, there's 4 sensors on these. So the one we're working on is a bank 2 sensor 1. So you just gotta take these out. You don't need it anymore. And then we're gonna try to put these exactly the way we put it in there. Take it out. Start it with your hand. You don't want to cross thread that. It's a tight spot. But the back one is worse too. Like this is actually the easier one comparing to the one over here. The one we're working on is a bank 2, so bank 1 is always in the back. So now we're gonna use the socket. Make sure this sensor wire doesn't tangle. This is the plug. So line it up, and then it goes down here, because you don't want it to tangle, because you got here the fan. That's it, that's done. Put the coil back. We're gonna erase it. This says engine off, yes. Okay, ignition off, ignition on, it's done. So you can see, it's gone. We don't have any lights on. No oxygen sensor, nothing. So that's the process of replacing the bank 2 sensor 1 on an MDX. Like I said, it will save you a lot of gas. You can't ignore that light just because you don't feel as much on the drivability issue. But it's always good when you replace the original parts with the original stuff. It will work better, because you have to make sure you replace it with the air fuel sensor, not oxygen sensor. The oxygen sensor are the down below ones. The bank 1 first sensor and the bank 2 first sensor, they call them air fuel mixture. That controls straight, it gets the feed from the computer. So make sure you replace it with the right one. High Tech is always here to try to give you guys the right advice to save money. So follow Auto Tips all the time and subscribe so you can get fresh videos every week. Till the next time, peace.